Hello everyone, and welcome back to It All Starts With a Wish podcast. My name is Rachel.
And I'm Mark.
And I'm needing a little serotonin boost.
Oh, really?
This morning. Yeah.
Is that why we're talking about Disney?
Yeah, and it's always why we're talking about Disney.
Great.
But
let's do this.
I think we should pretend to go to a park.
Ah, rope drop a park, perhaps.
Let's rope drop it.
So for those of you who may not be familiar with the term of rope drop in essence is showing up to the park right when it opens, even before it opens.
Usually
and the reason for that terminology is that oftentimes they will have a rope strung across certain lands. So for example, let's say we're going to Magic Kingdom this morning. We're going to rope drop Magic Kingdom.
Wait, where are we staying?
I don't know. Where do you want to stay?
Riviera.
Okay, so we're at the Riviera. We just wake up, everybody's getting ready. We go down, get our breakfast maybe something small. Maybe I'm just getting a cup of coffee. Maybe I'm not actually getting breakfast because I think we can get to that in a little bit here. But maybe something small.
Coffee.
Fill up my resort refillable mug. Rachel's going to go to her little cafe place and spend $50 on a coffee.
It's not $50.
We're going to look at the Disney Experience app, which has transportation on it for your hotel, so you can actually look and see when the buses are estimated to arrive. Not perfect, but it's pretty darn good, and I would say it's pretty accurate most days. We'll probably miss the bus that we were intending to show up to because somebody's going to the bathroom or something when they shouldn't be. But anyways, we get to the bus, take the bus over, we arrive just outside of Disney's Magic Kingdom before the park opens. They will allow you through the turnstiles, through security, through the turnstiles, all that stuff. They'll usually let you walk down Main Street before the park opens. So let's say the park opens at 9.
Now, I just have to say something. That if you're new to Disney, you might not remember this. But I really, really, really miss the old opening show.
At the train station right in front, yeah.
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning.
I'm the one that usually sings, but thank you for that.
Oh, well,
yes, that was a good one.
But they still have an opening little show.
Tight
it would get really, really...
in that little area.
Really...
So it's much nicer
like
that they
sardines.
let you down Main Street.
Yeah.
Because
no, you needed more space.
It's better for flow.
Yeah.
But I do agree, that was a great show.
It was cute. And all the characters came on the train.
Yeah.
It was cute.
Yeah, it was.
I want to be...
coming down the track.
Here we go. That's get it going. But all the characters would come after. And I want to be that family.
Yes. The family
helps.
Of the day. Yeah.
How does one do that?
I don't know. You show up at the right time.
Okay.
Anyways. You show up.
So we're on Main Street. We can go to
Let's
Starbucks.
say the park opens at 9. You can get into the park before 9 a.m.
Yes.
They will allow you in on Main Street, but usually the lands will be roped off.
You can only get into that
So
hub.
the term rope drop means that you are lined up there, ready for when they drop that rope. Get it? You're ready to go right in. So you are there or before opening.
Kind of crazy. Like, they line up at that rope.
Oh, yeah. People will.
I remember rope dropping Animal Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually could go past it because we had a breakfast reservation. Which, hint, if you do have a reservation somewhere in a park, you can go past if it is in a land where they won't usually let you go. But if you have a reservation, you are allowed to go.
That's a great point. We should talk about that when we do Animal Kingdom next month.
Yeah, because that's probably a better park example of reservations. That or Epcot. But yeah, people are literally lined up ready to go when the cast members unhook the rope.
They are.
And you are told multiple times not to run.
Worth indicating, too, at this point, that there is a clear advantage. We will play this as if we're not, but there is a clear advantage to staying in a Walt Disney World resort.
Yes.
Because a Walt Disney World resort will allow you extra magic hours.
Yes.
In this case, usually a half hour, not hours, but an extra magic hour, usually a half hour before the park opens. So let's say Magic Kingdom's opening at 9 a.m. People staying in Walt Disney World resorts, so that's any resort where it's Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge or Disney's Pop Century or Disney's All-Star.
There are some exceptions, though, because some of them, like Swan and Dolphin, might not be a Disney a name in front of like the actual name of Disney in front, but their location and contract allows them to get some of those extra things too. But you can be 100% sure that if you are at a Disney resort, you are getting
in a half hour early.
These, yeah.
Which gets you a head start. The whole park is not necessarily open,
right,
but it may get you in earlier before other people who are not, who are regular park guests, you know, and get a head start in front of anybody else. So there's a clear advantage to that.
Walking in, right?
Yep.
Getting a little crowded at the hub. I personally am not going to be waiting at the ropes. I think there's a lot of stuff that you can do. My first stop is probably going to be Starbucks, if I didn't already get...
My one word of caution here.
The line gets really long.
You have to watch Starbucks first thing in the morning.
It does get very long. So
you got to watch that in terms of if you see this line is out the door long.
Yeah, no, just
not
wait.
The time.
No. That's why, you know, if it's me, I'm getting my stuff at the resort. Another option that is also great is going to be Joffrey's. I think it's better than Starbucks, honestly, depending on what I want, especially like for coffee. I think they have a lot of cool flavors and stuff. So,
and there are Joffrey's locations across the park. So,
oh yeah,
all the parks,
and right before the Skyliners, and right like Transportation Ticket Center, and like they're everywhere. But personally, I'm gonna go for more of a Joffrey's, but a lot of people don't know Joffrey's, so they go for like what they know, and that's Starbucks. So yeah, all those stores are open. So you go to the Emporium, spend more money, get all your stuff for the day. Yay. Don't buy too much stuff because you're going to be carrying it around, or you can have it sent back to your resort,
right?
Which is really nice.
But do remember that anything that you buy, if you're buying it first thing in the morning, you have to carry that with you the rest of the day. So keep that in mind. That sometimes it's better to buy things before you're leaving.
Yeah.
That way you don't have to worry about carrying it around all day.
All right.
But anyways, we're rope dropping. We are going to talk about the first 2 hours of how you should spend your time in the Magic Kingdom. I'm going to make a bold statement.
Okay.
If you do not ride 6 rides in the first 2 hours, you're doing it wrong.
Oh. Wrong. Just wrong.
You're doing it wrong.
So what?
If you have not banged out at least 5 rides, but I'm going to push it to 6.
Okay.
You are doing it wrong.
Okay.
Headlines.
Put
that right across the title of this episode. Okay? I will explain in more depth. But before we get into that, I think it's important to indicate, remember, this is all heavily dependent on your family.
Yes.
And what you want to see and do. Okay? I am going to illustrate for you potential possibilities, but if you know your family doesn't want to ride something that I mention or something that I say,
then you're going to replace it with something else.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So just keep that in mind. Your first thing, when the rope drops, okay, our tendency as human beings is to go right.
We found out after going to Disney a few times that I don't know who told us. Someone told us a little like tidbit to like everyone seems to go to the right just because it's our natural tendency. So
yeah, I think that there's actually been like
there is, but it's just funny. I don't know who told us.
Most people are right-handed. Most people are inclined to go to the right.
Follow crowds. So I think whoever starts it off, like wherever the crowd's going, people are just going to follow. Like
and
a school of fish.
This was something that, this was always something that was in like the Burn Bombs books, if you remember those. So yeah, Burn Bombs used to have a book, and it used to be like Disney tips and tricks. It used to be like vloggers before vlogging was a thing. And I think that that's where this idea of going to the left originates from. And I was a little skeptical in this last trip. I was interested to test this again because how things change over time. Yeah. People learn things. Maybe people start doing things differently. But this stands the test of time.
I know.
Go left. When you're in the hub, go to Adventureland and Frontierland first. Do not go towards Tomorrowland, and do not go into Fantasyland.
New Fantasyland.
Okay?
Yeah.
Go to the left first, and I think that you are going to be surprised with what you're going to experience. Now, all of this is with the caveat of we are doing this without Genie Plus.
Right.
Okay? So I am telling you this with the idea that maybe you have multiple days at the Magic Kingdom and the fact that you do not have Genie Plus. Genie Plus would slightly change my calculus here.
Yeah.
But I think that the essence of this is it remains the same. Don't go right to Mine Train unless you have your early admission as a resort guest, maybe I go right to Mine Train. Maybe. But that's what everybody's going to do.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to go right to Mine Train.
Space Mountain.
Everybody's going to go right to Space Mountain, okay?
Yep.
By going left, you are playing this game of knowing that boat rides will back up. My old calculus when Splash Mountain was still a thing, and this is going to change, I'm sure, at the time of recording, Tiana's is not open. So this is probably going to change my calculus when Tiana opens. But my original inclination would be to tell people, you go right to Splash Mountain when the park opens. That's the first ride that you do. Boat rides, log rides like that, always back up throughout the course of the day and have some of the longest lines in the park. With Splash Mountain not being open, Jungle Cruise. With the recent Jungle Cruise movie, that ride consistently within the first half hour is going to go from a walk-on if you get there first thing in the morning to being a 45-plus minute wait within the first half hour. You know you want to ride Jungle Cruise? That is your first ride that you want to go right to. I'm curious.
It's only about 10:30 in the morning when we're recording this right now. Mm-hmm. What is Jungle Cruise at?
Great question.
Park's been open for what?
Park's been open for about an hour and a half now, and the Jungle Cruise is at 45 minutes.
There you go.
It is right up there with Peter Pan's 45 minutes, Space Mountain's at 60 minutes, and Seven Dwarfs is at 70 minutes. So it's a pretty slow day at the park, it seems, from those numbers, and Jungle Cruise is already at 40 minutes.
Yeah.
That will happen, especially at busy times of the year. You want to go right to Jungle Cruise first.
Right.
Okay? Boat rides, keep this in the back of your head. For the most part, at most of these parks. Things like Small World, the Fiesta ride, Living with the Land, those rides excluded.
Yeah.
Bigger marquee rides, e-ticket attractions that are boats will fill up and have some of the longest lines throughout the course of the day.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so Jungle Cruise. Not one of my favorites, but...
No, and again, if you know you don't want to ride Jungle Cruise, right, that's going to change this calculus. But if you know that that's something that you want to ride right now in the wake of that movie that recently came out, it's been a very popular ride. I definitely think
it had a little revival with the movie. I think people weren't really remembering it, that it was even there, or weren't even that into it. But then the movie came out, and then it kind of resurfaced itself, so...
And it is a pretty long ride. That's why these rides back up. They're boat rides. You can only get X amount of people on those boats at a time.
And it takes a while for those boats to get around.
And it takes a while for those boats to go around. So that's why they do back up.
Yep.
Right when you get off of Jungle Cruise. Right across from the Jungle Cruise. So, yes. But my idea here is, do you have a kid who likes spinny rides?
Well, not spinny rides. You mean like...
Dumbo adjacent rides that go around in a circle.
So we're doing magic carpets.
Yes. Magic carpets this time in the morning is a walk-on. You won't even wait 5 minutes. You will literally walk on that and bang that ride out. You know you don't have kids that age who are going to like a Dumbo-esque ride where you're flying around in a circle on a magic carpet
going up and down.
Camels spitting at you, right? If you know that the kids aren't going to be into that, don't bother. Go right to Pirates. Mm-hmm. But if you have a kid who may like that ride... Now's the time.
I don't think we did magic carpets.
Bang it out. We did.
We did do magic carpets?
We did, yeah.
Because, we've done...
We did that on our morning at Magic Kingdom, yeah.
I remember Dumbo. That was later in the afternoon.
Your parents went off and got cinnamon rolls, but we went right on magic carpets.
I do kind of remember this now.
Yeah. After magic carpets...
Pirates.
We're going to Pirates of the Caribbean.
You
will have a walk-on. It may be a 10-minute wait, maybe a 15-minute wait, but you will get on Pirates really quick. And at that point,
we've talked about how cool that queue is anyway. So there's so much to look at, and it just feels nice being in there.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It just feels nice being in the queue.
And that early in the morning, you will rarely ever see. For example, let's take a look right now what it is. An hour and a half into the park opening, and Pirates is at only 15-minute wait.
Yeah.
So the park's been
15
open for
minutes
an hour and a half.
For a ride, for a queue that one is, 15 minutes is basically walking through the queue.
Right.
It takes you that long just to walk through the line queue. So it's basically a walk-on.
Right.
For that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're hitting Pirates.
If you have played your cards right with this, right, we are talking an hour, you've already banged out less than an hour. You've already banged out 3 rides.
Yeah.
Adventureland, minus the treehouse if you want to walk through that. God, please. I am begging you, do not do the treehouse first thing in the morning. If you do that, you are wasting valuable time. Like, don't be like, oh, this is cool, let's walk through the treehouse. You can walk through that treehouse with no wait at any time of the day.
Yeah, that's true.
Do not waste your time.
Come back. It's shaded. Like, you can
It's a nice thing to do in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Please. I'm begging you.
It's just not good right now. Do it later.
Do it later.
All right, so we're at Pirates.
Under an hour, you've already banged out 3 rides.
Pirates.
And you have basically banged out Adventureland at that point.
Yeah, pretty much. So where we head next? It would be Splash Mountain, but Laura would have already done Splash Mountain.
Yeah.
So, but
after that,
to be determined when Tiana's.
You are going to Thunder Mountain. Thunder Mountain.
The wildest ride in the wilderness.
The wildest ride in the wilderness is a good ride to not do first thing in the morning, because those trains are pretty big. Those are long trains. They get a lot of people on them at a pop, and they are pretty consistently running those trains out of the station.
Few at a time.
There are 2 bays that are loading people on that ride, and they're pretty much sending one after another, after another, after another. They move people through that ride queue pretty fast.
Even in a longer wait, like 30 minutes-ish, I feel like it didn't even feel like it was like 30
And while
minutes.
all the other dippy dopes are waiting for an hour plus for 7 Dwarfs or standing over in Space Mountain waiting in that line, you now have banged out 3 good rides.
I know, but imagine if those people who were waiting in line also did this, then I feel like it would throw off everything.
That's why we're not sharing this with the world.
Okay.
We're only sharing this with
But I'm just saying, like, I think
the
people
that
are
listen
just
to us.
They're so excited to get on those things, and they know they are must-dos, that they think that they have to do those right away.
Good.
But really.
Let's let the stupid people think that. And our well-informed,
Oh my gosh.
our well-informed listeners are
mean.
gonna bang out a lot here. Okay.
Yeah. No, I agree.
This is why you listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
You become a well-informed person. An hour and a half into the park being open right now, Thunder Mountain's at 15 minutes.
Yeah. See,
Okay.
it's
You hit Thunder Mountain within the first hour and a half, and you're not going to wait that long. Maybe on a busy day, that may be up to 30 minutes. But even still, for Thunder Mountain, that's not a horrible wait.
So, to go back to give you guys listening, to go back to what we said, if you can imagine this, the hub, and you have this massive of red of people going in around the castle into Tomorrowland and into New Fantasyland. The other side to the left, we're going opposite them. So as the crowd comes around and does Tomorrowland and New Fantasyland and then into Liberty Square, eventually they'll get to Adventureland, and they kind of do that circle counterclockwise. So what we're suggesting with going to the left gives us the green light to go against them. So as the crowds are coming towards us, we are now doing the rides that they have waited hours to do, and those lines should, in a perfect world, those wait times will be going down by the time we get there.
Yeah,
obviously,
depending on
in
which.
A perfect world.
Mine Train's always going to have a long line.
Yeah.
Space Mountain's probably always going to have a long line. So you got to combat those in a way of... I think this is where the tip of get in line right before the park closes is great for something like Mine Train. Not only is Mine Train...
Or during the fireworks,
I would
if you
argue,
don't mind the fireworks.
Right. Not only is Mine Train better at night, I would argue, but if you get in line right as the park is closing, as long as you are in line, if the park closes at 10, if you are in that queue at 9:59, you're going to ride that ride.
Yep.
You wait 20 minutes.
Which is awful when you think about the poor cast members that are like, oh my god.
That's their rules. They know what that...
I know, but you think it's funny. Like, oh, the park closes at, like, let's say 10. And, like, these poor people aren't getting home until, like, after midnight. 1 o'clock in the morning.
I'm sure that their shifts are...
No, I know. They
appropriate for that.
Yeah, no, I know. But it's just like, wow, that's kind of crazy. Just how to filter out how many people.
But yeah, would you rather wait an hour of park time when you could ride other things, or would you rather wait
when it closes
after it's already closed? Right?
Yeah.
It just makes too much sense.
All right, so we do Thunder Mountain. I would assume at this point that maybe we should grab a snack.
No.
Or something to eat. Okay, so when traveling with me, you know that you will be fed. When traveling with Mark, you know that
when traveling with Mark, you have already had your snack, your breakfast thing at the hotel before you showed up at the park.
It's already been a little while. We need a
It's
snack
not been
now.
that long. Yeah. We're going to push on through because we can ride some more rides, then we'll stop for a snack.
Okay.
After Thunder Mountain, now keep in mind at this point, if you have rode Magic Carpets, you have rode 4 rides already. I would argue 4 rides within the first, I'm going to say 85 minutes of being in the park. You've already accomplished 4 rides. If you did not ride Magic Carpets, you're at 3, but you're probably under 60 minutes still at that point. And you've rode pretty big rides in Jungle Cruise, Pirates, and Thunder.
Yeah, those are pretty big ones.
After that, we're going to transition to our Omni Mover rides. We are going to go to the Haunted Mansion next. Haunted Mansion.
Bum, bum, bum.
It's an Omni Mover ride, which means there's those cars that are constantly in motion.
Yeah, for an Omni Mover ride, I feel like this line gets pretty long.
It does.
Or can get pretty long. And I feel like it might shut down a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like
and
they
I think
they
it's
like
just...
stop the tracks a lot.
Yeah, to get
at least the
people
first
on
few
and off.
times, I feel like we stopped a lot.
I think there's so many people riding that ride and who want to ride that ride that it kind of backs up more than other Omni Mover rides.
I also think new movie.
The Hatbox Ghost is now there.
Hatbox Ghost is now there. So it's also on a little revival swing of like more people wanting to be like into the Haunted Mansion. So.
But yeah, I'm getting on the Haunted Mansion. We're going to ride the Haunted Mansion. We're going to go hang out with the 999 Happy Haunts, and hopefully we're not the one more that there's room for. After the Haunted Mansion... Back. Thank you for that creepy segue. After that, you're gonna go watch the Hall of Presidents. I'm just joking. Don't do that. You are very, 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 very not intelligent if you're going to ride the Hall of Presidents next, or go to watch the Hall of Presidents next. That is the perfect thing to do in mid-afternoon when it's super hot out and there's long lines for everything else.
Hopefully at this point, depending if you're going, peak summertime, hopefully at this point we are not completely...
We're peak winter
time
now.
In sweat. Yeah, we're in peak winter
Seems
time.
Like
so you're probably going to be...
The first 2 weeks of January are some of the busiest
just
now.
Fine as far as heat goes, though. But I'm saying, like, if you're in peak summer, like, that's something to keep in mind. The things that are inside, to do those, like, after lunch. Especially if you're staying in the park all day. A time of year like January, you can probably get a little more done without feeling so burnt out because of... not hot.
So you've rode the Haunted Mansion. Right. After riding the Haunted Mansion, you're going to bang a left. We're going to walk into Fantasyland. At this point, if you have a kid...
So I can't go to Sleepy Hollow and get a snack.
No.
Oh my gosh.
You're banging a left and we're going into Fantasyland. In Fantasyland, you're going to have a very fateful and important decision to make. Are you riding Small World? If the answer is yes, you're going to pop in that line.
You're going to walk right on it.
You're going to walk right on it, and you're going to bang that... ride out like you wouldn't believe. You're going to be humming and singing and wishing for world peace and all that great stuff. And
you're going to get off feeling great.
Yeah. It's a small world after all, in 5 different languages.
You replenished your magic.
Drunk hippos and all. Like, you're going to love it. Anyways, if you're not going to ride that, keep walking.
So people are going to say, are we doing Peter Pan?
Stop. No. Because Peter Pan's already going to be at a 45-plus minute wait. Okay?
What is it now?
Right now, it was 45 minutes when I just looked. Okay, and today's not a busy day in the parks. That could be over an hour at this point.
Oh, yeah.
You're not stopping at Peter Pan. That's one that always consistently has a long line, is backed up. My caveat of if you have Genie Plus... This is one of the rides that I already have queued up on Genie Plus.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's a must-do for you.
We are doing this without Genie Plus. We are doing this without any additional fees for you.
No fees.
So, you're riding Little Mermaid. We're riding Small World. If you ride Small World and you've already rode Magic Carpets, boom, there's your 6. Under 2 hours. Guaranteed. Almost guaranteed. I won't completely guarantee it. But I will almost guarantee that under 2 hours, you have now rode 6 rides. If you're walking by Small World, though, and you want that 6th ride, you may be even able to get in this ride within 2 hours. You might be pushing it, and you might have to haul Little Mermaid.
Yeah, it's a bit of a walk from where you are.
Voyage of the Little Mermaid in New Fantasyland consistently, if you do this ride before noon, you're talking walk on or close to it. Under 15 minutes.
Which says 10 to 15 minutes, but this is another ride that it takes 10 to 15 minutes just for you to walk through the queue. So it's funny to me because I feel like, I don't know, maybe just Disney anticipated more of a crowd. But that line, just similar to Nemo in Epcot,
Super
is just
long.
so long. Really cool, but it's just so long. Like, I don't know if they expected it to be like at hours of a wait all the time, forever.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
But it is really nice and cool in there, so it's another one as the day gets a little hotter. It's a good cool off ride.
Mm-hmm. So now
we can eat. Oh, I know why.
road
Now I know why you've been
area.
waiting. You've been waiting this whole time to eat.
Please hold.
Well, now I know. I'm picking up what you're
You
putting
at this
down.
point have banged out Adventureland, Frontierland, the only ride in Liberty Square, Haunted Mansion, and 2 rides in Fantasyland. And you have probably done this under 150 minutes. I won't say under 2 hours that you've done 7 rides, but close.
Close to it.
If you do not believe me, we did almost this exact thing on our last trip with
We did.
slight adjustments because Luke didn't ride Thunder Mountain, Luke didn't ride Haunted Mansion. So the slight adjustments where we rode Winnie the Pooh in the teacups instead of those other 2 rides, but pretty much banged out the rest of those rides.
Right.
Within the first 2 hours of the park being
Right,
open.
and there's a lot of the same types of rides. So wherever you feel that you want to plug in a different ride, if it's the same type of ride, then you should be good as far as like wait times. So like teacups, I would put with spinny rides similar to Dumbo or Flying Carpets.
That's right, too. Instead of doing Jungle Cruise, we did Dumbo with him instead.
Yeah, later
So,
on in
yeah.
the morning. Yeah, so like he wasn't going to sit through a whole boat ride. It was just too long.
Did
for
like
him, I
Pirates,
think.
though.
I thought we did Jungle Cruise. We didn't do Jungle Cruise.
We did
with
not.
him?
No, not with him. They did that after we went back.
Okay, I believe you.
We did Pirates twice, though, that trip. Anyways, not important for this. Now, after riding Voyage of the Little Mermaid, now it's time for a snack.
And let me guess. I can already guess where you're going since of where we are.
Please.
You're going to get a cinnamon bun from Gaston's Tavern.
Of course. What else would you get?
And I'm going to get a LeFou's Brew.
See, I'm not a huge fan of the LeFou's Brew, but I will get a coffee.
Yeah, I like it.
And I will sit down
Whatever happened to my mug from there?
with my... it's in one of the boxes over
Oh,
there.
okay. We still have it, though.
We do.
Okay.
Yes. I know
I'm
we
just
do.
making sure, because I, pay extra for that.
We are getting a lovely cinnamon roll from Gaston's Tavern, one of the best cinnamon rolls you ever eat. You are drizzling that beautiful vanilla sauce over it, and you are going to eat that, and you're going to love it. And after you're done with your cinnamon roll, maybe you're going to ride the People Mover.
I think so.
It's a good time of day for the People Mover after you
Yeah.
have a full stomach.
We're getting peak day.
And then honestly, we've already met our 2 hours. We have knocked out of the park a lovely 2-hour morning at Magic Kingdom.
Right.
And I'm probably going to either hop on the monorail and go to one of the
been a lovely
Magic
morning.
Kingdom Resort area hotels and hanging out there for a little while. I'm hopping on the bus and I'm heading back to the Riviera for a quick nap, go in the pool, all that kind of stuff. And you have had a great morning showing up at Rope Drop. Everybody can have a nice relaxing afternoon. And then we're heading either back to Magic Kingdom or to another park in the afternoon.
Right.
into
And I
the
think when
evening.
people think of Rope Drop, I think they think like it's an all day thing. Like, no, it's usually just that first 2 hours in the morning. Like if you're rope dropping a park, when you're rope dropping a park, it doesn't mean like you're there all day. You can rope drop a park, but rope dropping usually just means that morning.
Right.
And there are other ways to do this. You don't have to rope drop.
Right, there are. But I think that this is a highly effective way.
This is one of the
If you
more
rope
effective
drop,
ways.
if you rope drop one park, if there's one park that I think is worthwhile rope dropping,
Magic
it's
Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom.
Yep.
100%.
Other ones, I definitely think you can kind of
you could get away
you
with
can
not doing
stroll
it.
in
Yeah.
a little bit later,
But this
and
is one
have
to
it
be
not
right
impact.
there.
But that first hour or 2 hours, like you said, are very crucial.
They are.
times.
Those
So if
first
you're
2
rolling
hours,
in, let's say you're rolling in right now and it's 11:15.
after the first 2 hours,
kinda,
wait times everywhere are going to go up.
You're gonna wait a lot longer than you would if you were there right in the morning. But some people aren't morning people, and that's okay too. And that's when getting something like Genie Plus can be very beneficial for you if you know that you're not morning people and you just kind of want to mosey in.
This is going to be my pro tip for folks if you decide to purchase Genie Plus. Mm-hmm. If you're going to buy Genie Plus, you want to ride Tron. You want to ride Peter Pan. Okay?
People are also going to say Space Mountain.
When you wake up.
Okay.
When you wake up at 7 a.m., you're ready on your app.
Yep.
Everybody immediately, well, Tron aside, okay? Let's say, Tron, you got your virtual queue and or you're buying
an individual
lightning lane for Tron, okay? You just got to do it. Just do it. Just buy the individual lightning lane. Spend the money. You'll be happy that you did instead of the virtual queue. Virtual queues can be a pain in the butt. You're still going to wait in line. Not as long as you would, but you're still going to wait. I would just buy the individual lightning lane for Tron. You purchase that, not necessarily first thing in the morning, but very close to 7 o'clock. The first Genie Plus reservation I'm making at 7 a.m. when I can, not Space Mountain, not Mine Train, I'm making it for Peter Pan.
If you want to do that. What if someone didn't want to do that? What would be your next go-to?
Space, probably.
Not Mine Train.
Not Mine Train. My logic here is...
I was going to say, what would your logic be?
Wait to ride Mine Train. Do not waste the lightning lane on Mine Train.
Because it's just better at night,
That's going to take up time. The longer you wait for Peter Pan to get a lightning lane, the further in the day it's going to get pushed back, and that can mess up your plans if you're not planning on going back to Magic Kingdom or you're not planning on spending the whole day there. If you get up at 7 a.m. and get that lightning lane, think about what we just talked about, right? We have done a very heavy cluster of rides on the left side of the park.
Yeah.
Peter Pan is to that left side. You can still do all these rides that I just indicated within the first 2 hours. And if
without
you get
touching
a
Genie Plus
lightning lane for Peter Pan at 10 o'clock, think about how perfect that fits into your grand scheme of things. Rather than having to book it across the park over to Space Mountain, try to get back over to the left side of the park to do more of these other rides without a lightning lane. 7 a.m., boom, I'm getting that Peter Pan lightning lane. And the minute that I can get another lightning lane, I'm probably going for Space.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think that people don't consider that when it pops up on the screen and you're just like, oh, there's something for Mine Train, and then there's something for Space, and then there's something for Pirates. And I'm like, okay, but like, if you were just at Space Mountain, you literally have to go across the entire park to the other side to get to Pirates. So keeping in mind, another pro tip with Genie Plus would be just keep in mind the location of things. And if you're not sure, there's maps everywhere. Mm-hmm. Grab a map. It's on your phone, on the app too, but I know sometimes that can be a little hard to see.
You don't necessarily want to be running across the park all day. But no, you don't want to be running back
and forth. It's much more efficient to just kind of hit everything in one fell swoop.
Your feet will thank you. Your family will thank you.
Your feet, for sure.
But I think that people may think I'm crazy, but 7 a.m., that first lightning lane I'm going for is Peter Pan. Because that's the perfect ride to fit right into this grand scheme of things. You're going to minimize your wait times for things on the other rides that you may not have a lightning lane for. And Space Mountain, although it's a popular ride in the park, and keep in mind Tron's different because it's individual lightning lanes. Yeah. So that's totally different. You can get a Peter Pan lightning lane and you can get a Tron lightning lane. Right, you're just purchasing it. I would never spend the money on purchasing a Mine Train lightning lane. Wait until 9:59 or right before the park closes and get in line. You're going to like that ride better at night anyways.
That's true. It is cooler at night. I mean, I definitely can see someone buying one if they aren't coming back to the park at night and you do need to hit them kind of all at once. But maybe you can come back a different day. I don't know. I don't think anyone's just going to Magic Kingdom just for 3 hours and then never going back. Right. So I don't really think that's... And if you are doing that, it's because you have annual passes and you can come back whenever you want. So you're really only going for one specific reason.
So that would be my Genie Plus caveat to this whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, we can definitely do a whole other thing on just Genie Plus and how it works and all of those ins and outs that you need to know besides just the park itself. I feel like there's layers that just keep getting added on to Disney Vacations, and that's why it is really beneficial to have a travel planner like me, and Mark also helps. I mean, I have the job title.
We don't tell you people all the
secrets.
No,
we're not going to tell you all the secrets.
Just some.
If you book with me, I'll tell you all the secrets.
Anyways.
Because then you're getting exactly what I would do for a vacation. But
anyways, that is how we would suggest rope dropping Magic Kingdom. And again, there are certain things that, depending on your situation, this can vary.
Put a little asterisk.
Yeah, but keep in mind that what I have suggested you doing in riding at least 6 rides within the first 2 hours in Magic Kingdom
is totally doable.
And without Genie Plus.
Yeah, totally doable.
Maybe
for all times of year and for any kind of family.
Minus maybe Christmas Day. Might be a little crazy.
Yeah.
But most days throughout the rest of the year.
Days that aren't major holidays.
I will also say, that keep in mind, if you have a park hopper, right, this may be a day not to buy Genie Plus. Nothing says that you have to buy Genie Plus every day that you're there. Save some money. If you do this in the morning at Magic Kingdom, go back to your hotel, and let's say go to Animal Kingdom at night
all of a
that
sudden
evening.
You see that those rides are ridiculously long for some reason.
Don't bother buying Genie Plus. There's
for
no
some
need.
reason, if they really, really want a lightning lane for something.
You could, but if you go to Magic Kingdom in the morning and do this and ride these 6-7 rides first thing in the morning, go back to your hotel, take a nap,
take it easy at night,
and go back to Animal Kingdom, you really don't need Genie Plus at Animal Kingdom in the evening/night. So that might be a really good way to save yourself some money on Genie Plus and not have to buy it. Anyways, those are our thoughts on how to properly rope drop Magic Kingdom. What are your thoughts? Let us know. And if you do have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to us on our social media platforms or sending us an email at startswithawish.podcast@gmail.com. And with that, folks, remember, it all starts with a wish. We'll see you real soon.
Bye.